fire department because they do our race every year. If you ever been to our 5K, the finish has a fire hydrant finish, and we want to get a commitment tonight. They'll be here this year. So, and they also have watered our garden in the past. So I want to thank them and Major Britcher for really staying in touch with the community. So thanks a lot, guys. So about nutrition. At the end of the day, our movement is a little more than nutrition because it's about environmental justice. It's also about sustainability because we have fastened a way to utilize vacant lots in Park Heights. And contrary to what people say or what we've been taught, the reality is that we have a lot of assets because of the vacant lots in Park Heights. We have a lot of assets because of the vacant potential because of the vacant houses. And what I mean by that is, if you know anything about the depletion of the bee population, what's being recorded now that they're dying in the suburbs and rural areas because of big factory farms, and because of the pesticides and the herbicides that could come with that. But what we don't have in the city is that. So, but what we do have are a lot of native plants that grow in these lots. So the concentration, our focus on growing bees is something that is a major asset and a large potential. We have 4 hives currently, and this week we're going to pull out probably 50 pounds of honey. And it's all going. You can't claim it organic, but it's going to be more organic than so whatever bee whatever honey you're eating that comes from the suburbs, you can't never say it's organic. But seriously, we started our garden. Our big dig was this past weekend. So as an update, we have about 2 acres of land that we're going to be growing on. We have 3 sites currently. Our demonstration garden is on our site, the Athea Community Garden. We have a plot at Park Circle that has about 8 beds that we're going to grow out up there. And we've collaborated with the Park Heights Renaissance in their location in the major redevelopment area that has a hoop house and another, like a 1/4 acre, about a 1/2 acre. And one thing that we've all come to the conclusion of, because we all know the story about George Washington Carver, and that he was a genius, right? And the peanut and all that, that we all learned that. But I figured out, after doing this for about 7 years, the true genius in Carver was that he knew that if he was going to work from sun up to sundown, that he said, I'm going to find me a place in the lab. And that's where he became a real genius. Because if you've been out there after a couple hours, it's some hard work. But what happens because of that is that we're producing locally grown food. Last year we did about, I think about 10 tons of food in those 3 plots, and we've scaled up every year that we've done it because the story goes at our place. I think the councilman was there. First year we had it, we didn't grow a squat. That's one such vegetable is squat. But the point is that we've grown into it. We're producing quality food. You can't beat what we're delivering because you can come to our place in the morning and have breakfast or lunch, and it's going to be the best chemical-free, locally grown food that you can get. We put it up against Fresh Market, what's the whole paycheck? We put it up against all these because you can come and see where it's grown. It's grown in a very organic fashion that beats anything that they grow. Now, the significance of me being here today is to focus on that, because that's the end result. The nutrition thing is the end result. If you are growing your own food, if you're cooking your own food, it's more nutritious than the corner stores and whatever McDonald's or anything like that. So if you're doing that, that's wonderful. But if you can take it to another level and try to find locally grown food, and we're offering it. We offer it in a CSA model. CSA is Community Supported Agriculture. It's a co-op fashion situation. The request is that you can choose to pay into it at the beginning of the season, or you can do what we call sweat equity CSA. You can work, learn how to grow your own food. I know a lot of black folks are like, we ain't growing nothing, only be in the garden. But the reality reality is, once we get back to that, you also are in line and in balance with your own spiritual reality. So if you've ever done it, you know it. I don't have to sell that to you. But where we are now is we're trying to deliver as much food as possible. And we want to give it to as many people as possible so we can celebrate that. Our program is called Urban Oasis. And like I said, we do it in our garden, our CSA. We do the farmers market from June until November. And we close up everything with our Brassica Festival, which happens in November. It's a conference on greens. We talk about greens, talk about gardening, talk about access to food. And like I said, our goal at the end of the day is to produce as much chemically free food as possible. And we want you to be a part of it. So that's my pitch. Any questions? Yes, sir.
The Woodland Avenue site.
Right.
There was supposed to have been, I know there's already 2 hoops there, and there's supposed to be more hoops. Are you planning on doing more hoops, or are you just gonna take that whole?
Our goal is just to produce with what we have.
What we have?
I'm going to be talking to council members because when the RFP came out, it didn't show it as a park. We want to change that, and so it's protected.
Chair of Urban Affairs.
Exactly. That's the kind of love you need. But to answer your question, I think it would be great to expand it in whatever way. There's land on that where the parking lot is that can be turned into food. And I just think it's our, it's our destiny. It speaks to self-preservation. And our goal overall, I talked to Cheo about it, is that if we could say that, anybody, anywhere in Park Heights can walk to a garden and get food, that's a major vision, that's a supreme accomplishment. And I'm not gonna stop until that happens. I can't, I don't know how to do it yet, but we have 3 locations. We met with Creative City. They have a plot right in their area. There are many people who have, grow food in their own yards, and that's just a sign that it can't happen. There are a few sites, there are plenty of lots and that kind of thing that we can grow food in. We just have to have the capacity to do it, and the people and the ability to maintain it. And that's the biggest challenge, is maintaining it. We're probably 90% volunteer based because people love it. If people didn't like it, they wouldn't come back. We had 30 people out this weekend, and it wasn't, it wasn't warm, but once people get out there, they meet folks that they don't know. They celebrate community. So that's what we push on top of the food. So in addition to that, you get food, So we're very proud about that. We're going on 7 years doing it.
I just want to add, since Cheo, had staff here, please make note that what we can do is get, it has to go through the Park Heights Urban Renewal Plan. So Cheo can kind of work on that with me, and we put in an amendment and have a hearing, and then it can go right through.
Right. And that's in addition to, like I said, the bee thing is serious business, because if you buy honey, it's not cheap. And if you can get it local, just like the food, you're gonna save money. And our prices are $3.50 for a year, so you get a full share. And we're producing food pretty much from May until November. And we were eating greens up until New Year's because the weather was mild until New Year. So the potential is to do it until then. So, I think, who has some greens? Yeah. So,
just an added plug to the Brassica Fest. I remember when the first one that Willie started, which was real small, and this last one, he partnered with Creative City Charter, and it was just blown off the charts. What a wonderful event it was. And through these years, watching it progress, I've grown into just learning. If you want to start off, you need to attend the Brassica Fest just to get a feel of, some of the vendors and what they're selling, and sampling some of the things made from fresh fruits and vegetables. Because I'm like addicted now, going to. I'll tell this quick little story. Going to the Montego Bay Juice Bar that
Sandy.
you had, Sandy, that you had told. I had this over the winter. And a lot of suffered from, you know, how you get congested in your chest, and the first thing we wanna run to is getting an antibiotic. I went to this juice bar and she had these, little flu shots, which was natural ingredients. I was like, I hadn't been hoarse since I was a child, so all of that was happening. I went and, I took a shot there, took one home, and then had a repeat. That whole thing disappeared completely. I mean, it was like, I wasn't talking, it was almost like bronchitis with that natural, and so everywhere I go to the juice bar and get those natural shots. It's amazing what, you know, fresh fruits and vegetables.
And that's the guarantee of vegetables, you know, it's nutrition month, so I'll sell it. If you are putting more vegetables in your body, you're reducing your chance of having disease. And if you don't have disease, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be happy you can spread love, right? So that's what we're trying to do. Yes, sir.
Well, why don't you speak to him a little bit about your other services? Willie is, you know, partnership with Willie because, you know, all of us go through a lot of stress, especially me. And, but Willie has yoga down there. He has all other kind of stuff that we as a community need, and it's absolutely free, folks. Free. So we'll talk a little bit about the other services you.
We have a community. We've kind of developed a community mindfulness structure in what we do, and it includes meditation training, guidance with that, as well as Tai Chi, yoga, and we do a class on A Course in Miracles. Once a month, we do a vegan potluck, and we do a group meditation. That's on second Fridays and Saturdays. So we welcome people out to it. It's a growing crowd. Definitely, Mr. Crockett he's participated with it. So we invite you in. So it's really about, you know, balance overall, and it connects to everything we do in the garden because, you know, it's something that the literal sense of being grounded is where it would benefit a lot of us to get back to, because when you understand where you are, you understand where everyone else should be. So, and then the love that you have for yourself will extend to others, and that's what we do.
I can't eat fried foods anymore because Willie told me, and every time I try to eat a piece of fried chicken, a piece of fried fish, I said, "Oh, Willie said don't eat this stuff."
But we have, I have some, if you need any information, we have CSA application if anyone is interested in joining.
Can you tell us what CSA?
It's Community Supported Agriculture. It's just a term that,
I know the term, but I can't seem to forget what the word, the letters stand for.
Right.
Community Supported Agriculture.
right. And it's, our CSA is situated for the community. I mean, the reality is that there are farm CSAs that are like $500 to $600 a year. We couldn't do that. At the center of everything we do is about social justice. So we try to create a system that would allow anyone to participate. And
So you have payments, or how can people have?
so you can pay, we take any form of payment, cash, check, we take SNAP as well.
You said
And
it's $350 for the year.
$350 for the year, that's a whole share. You get weekly pickups, so it's a lot of food, and like I said, it's fresh. And we do seasonal vegetables, and it's right on up to, and then you can also do a half share or a quarter share. And again, if you do the sweat equity, you're working there, so you can really get more than a full share.
One other question I have, so if you go on, when does it start for you to get the free, get the groceries? And when does
free. Also, the not. So the money is not to tax you. The money is really just to pay for the plants and for the time that's invested in to delivering the food. And like I said, it's a balance of just old school volunteerism without calling it that. It's just, you know, your community duty to participate if you can. And then the luxury of getting fresh food. I just, you know, it was my goal in life to be able to take greens and go home and cook them, and I do it every time, you know, every spring and summer, right on up to New Year's. Yes, ma'am.
With regards to the honey, are you selling the honey? Or is it a part of the,
Well, if let me also add, it's a faith endeavor. So if we can produce enough honey, right now we only have, 3 hives that are producing. And if we have enough, we share with the CSA members. So, but our goal is to look at funding that will allow us to put it everywhere, because we have a bee butterfly garden. We try to do pollinators across the board to increase the opportunity for bees to pollinate. So our belief is that if we put hives anywhere in this community, we can have, if we put 30 hives, we can have 30 times, 50 pounds, so that's kind of the hope of the vision.
what does it take, you say you can put a hive, I mean, what does it, is there anything additional